All right, y'all. So we got the Gumball new season going on here. The Alpha J Show is gonna explain and break down this video for us. So let's go ahead and make sure we get into the video. Bro's dusty. Golly. Damn, his whole house is dusty.
What is going on? Gumball is officially.
Bro looks like that one show. I think it's called Gargoyles. Gargoyles. He looks like gargoyles, yo.
Back, and there's quite a lot to cover since my last video on that. The very first bombshell dropped on us is that the show is now called the Wonderfully.
Who here is excited for Gumball? But it's called what? The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball? What?
Weird World of Gumball. We see that they made a deliberate change to the logo while still trying to keep it similar aesthetically. Now, this is interesting because of how the show ended. If you don't know, The Amazing World of Gumball released what I'd consider to be its last episode, June 24th, 2019, titled.
Wait, so why do they have to change the name then? That doesn't make sense to me, Elo.
The Inquisition, a season 6 episode that had many of the characters transform into human versions of themselves in a desperate ploy by Superintendent Evil, who was really just Rob, one of the main antagonists of Gumball, in disguise.
I remember seeing that episode and seeing Rob inside that human skin. Bro, I felt so uncomfortable just seeing that. Like, bro, why are you trying to be like, I don't know, Dr. Phil maybe? Like, bald ass man.
So does this mean we'll be getting confirmation on what happened after the events of the Inquisition, or is it a cold reset? Well, while I have an answer on that, let's look at the trailer first, because it gives.
It's not gonna be a cold reset. They're gonna start it off a little bit like they have to like bring some storyline into it, because that's usually how, like, because they were ending off with some storyline and some plots. They have to put some in there now, like
gives a clue.
Regular show and Adventure Time. You know how like in the later seasons they started putting in a lot more plot points.
About 7 years.
They're definitely not 7 years older though. They're definitely not 7 years older.
As you saw, they acknowledged the about 7-year gap between the Inquisition and now, which, to be honest with you, is how I view the show. Technically, within 2019 to 2021, there were two.
Bro, that's bro, who's the Russian president guy? That's him, bro.
Miniseries titled Darwin's Yearbook and the Gumball Chronicles. However, both are simply just clip shows that feature very little new or interesting in them in an attempt to keep interest with the main show, and honestly don't hold up that well because of the nothingness that they are. Like, you don't need me to tell you that cartoon clips and compilations run wild on every social media platform. The characters don't look aged up, and Gumball is the perfect type of show to mess around with the reality of everything, and I don't necessarily need them to be aged up at all, but I don't mind if they were. Now, the first bombshell was pretty crazy, but the second one seems crazier, but I'd argue it made the most sense.
Who here is going to be a little bit pressed if they are aged up? Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't know, maybe like a year or two, that would be fine. But like, if they're too aged up, we're not gonna like it. Because like, you can age them up like a year or two, like kind of like Total Drama, but if you age them up too much, they're different people. Like Rugrats, all grown up.
The second bombshell,
just a little bit,
streamed on Hulu or Hulu for Disney Plus rather than Cartoon Network or Max. Sorry. HBO Max.
So that means they might be able to curse. They might be able to curse a little bit.
At all, but I'm not entirely mad at the decision. HBO Max has systematically removed so much of its animated catalog that I wouldn't trust it to be there for long. And I don't think Cartoon Network is in the best spot to be airing a new show on their network with very little support. Gumball was already on Hulu or Hulu for Disney for some time, and so were similar shows such as Prince Ivan, a Cartoon Network show that follows a similar style to Gumball. This isn't to say that I believe Hulu will treat it good, but it is to say that
it would, yeah, honestly, out of every platform, it would probably do best on Hulu. Like, I couldn't see it on Netflix, definitely not Max. Like, where else, bro?
I think that Hulu will treat it better than HBO Max. I trust it more. With that said, the show will stream on HBO Max in international markets, just to be clear. However, this does mean that they'll most likely dump the entire show, if not chunks of the entire show, on Hulu when it releases. And while that'll be great for the first month, I really don't want Gumball to come and go like that, but most streaming shows tend to be that way. Now, speaking of support, does this revival season have support from the creator, Ben Bouclé?
Yuck, bro.
Actually, yes.
Oh, it does.
Quote from him.
This is like the first time ever where like the original creator was like doing both this this series and then like this series after. Like, come on.
And his team, what an amazing opportunity to play with these characters again. Fans can look forward to more antics and misadventures in Elmore because Gumball and Darwin haven't grown up much since the last we saw them. We haven't either. In a big twist,
We haven't
outside
either.
of the deal having their voice actors change, which is quite normal for the show, while Nicole and Richard are still going to be voiced by the same people, Anais is getting a new voice actor. And no, we don't hear what Anais's new voice is in this trailer. Now,
Interesting,
the third
interesting.
bombshell actually doesn't come from the video itself. It comes from the description. It seems like we have
Maybe
the premises to a
Anais
few
grown up a little bit.
episodes. Quote, "Welcome back to Elmore, where the laws of reality are a joke and family life is anything but ordinary. Whether he's battling an evil fast food empire, facing off against a sentient AI in love with his mom, or trying to
oh
stop
my
an NHL
God,
from wearing
AI in
pants,
love with his
Gumball
mom,
drags
bro.
Darwin, Anais,
Wait,
and the rest
was?
of Elmore along
Was the robot in love with his mom? I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. Yuck.
for the ride. With even wilder stories,
When your friends
bigger
like
twists,
your
and
fucking
some real
parents,
humor,
bro.
They had to rename it The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball. Now this is interesting because of a photo that's been circulating around the Gumball space for some time. This photo appears to be the titles of the first 26
The first 26 episodes. The burger, assistant, the distance, the butts, the thing, the cheerleader. Bro, what? The cancellation? The cancellation-gation. What is that name, bro?
episodes, and also showing that we
The
have
proposal.
40 episodes
The
to look forward
survivalist.
to. And I'm not even gonna try and guess which ones match up with the concepts in this description. Literally, the last episode I spoke about was called The Puppy, yet had to do with a psycho turtle. Now, does this mean that we're in the
Oh,
dark
shit.
for all of
Yeah.
the episodes?
That is
Actually,
true.
No.
We're not gonna
We
know.
seem to
We're not
what
gonna
the
know.
first episode titled The Burger will be about. Let's read the thread together. Now, this is a thread from @Midumir. I hope I'm not getting that
Midumir.
incorrect. He went to the 2024 NSE International Animation Film Festival and detailed a little bit about what's going on with Gumball among many other properties. Also, I will have to parse through this a little bit because it's not written in grammatically correct English, so bear with me.
Bro, this shit is gonna be insane. I'm telling y'all, everybody's hyped over it. I've been hearing like 10 people at the gym just telling me, hey, you heard Gumball's coming back? Like, yes, bro, I know.
Intended. Episode 1 is about Gumball and Darwin.
I like
mostly
cartoons
Darwin,
too, bro.
Trying to eat healthy, but they discover it's hard to do so. Why? Because it's all rigged, and every store in town is owned by one person, Mr. Bilderberger. It's a succession of gags showing it's all connected. The episode stars Miss Simeon trying to show
interesting.
for
They're
the
all
second
connected.
day the damages of eating Joyful Burger. Mr. Small wears a heart costume, and she just punches him while describing symptoms. And obviously, Darwin is scared, and Gumball's just hungry. They try to beat organic food, but it ends up being way too expensive, and all of their budget is spent on one avocado. As soon as they leave the market, it just rots. They search the trash to find stuff to grow. Larry is working in every
I can't
store
see
in
this as an
town.
episode.
That's
I
a
can't-
gag.
I
When
can't
they
see
try
it.
to
I
eat
can't
a
see it.
salad, It's just Larry cutting a burger differently. Larry has to destroy the food in the trash. When Gumball and Darwin grow their food, he burns it because his boss owns the seeds they planted. They end up starving themselves for the whole episode, getting thinner and thinner to the point of anorexia. They ask to see Larry's manager, who thinks that they can't get to him unscathed. They did, but with black eyes. And yeah, not gonna spoil more, but the end is unexpected, I'd imagine they're saying here. So if this is to be believed, this means they aren't addressing the events of the Inquisition in The Burger, which appears to be the first episode of
Okay, so they're just like completely like skipping all the whole entire storyline for now, and they're just keeping up with the regular Gumball episodes, none of the actual stuff that goes into each other. I can see why they would do that, but still.
of the seventh
Interesting.
season, which is a little bit of a bummer, but at the same time, if we're being honest, it's not like the Void was that big of a component even within season 6. There's many episodes that feature the Void throughout the show, including an episode titled The Void, but a lot of season 6 did not acknowledge it at all. So while I can see them covering it later on in the season, having it not be the first episode is not a deal breaker for
Yep.
me. Especially
See?
since
Not a
it
deal
seems like
breaker,
the
bro.
movie
It just
titled
makes
The
sense,
Amazing
honestly.
World of
It makes
Gumball,
sense.
the movie seems to still be in the works, as the thread claims that that Ben is still working on the story and script, and has reflected on how COVID, which happened right after the 6th season, may have actually given him more time to refine the script to his liking. Now, it is important to note that Ben has come out and said that he didn't want to end season 6 that way, and has been banking on the movie to even things out. So best case scenario is that the movie provides a proper conclusion and season 7 is allowed to bloom without the—
Wait, so they're making a movie before the season comes out? I didn't know that.
Big uncompleted plot point in the—
Or was there a movie before that? Are they talking about with the dinosaur girl? I don't know. I don't remember.
It says something about that. This thread goes over—
It's been a minute since I've seen—
I kind of want to hear your guys' thoughts.
Like a good amount of Gumball, bro.
From Ben himself. You get like a few fun stuff. I'm kind of happy of the finale episode. It's nice and emotional, and it's kind of like for the fans as much as it is for me. That makes me wonder if season 7 is going to be the one and only season, but it's too early to tell. 40 episodes is way more than we've had in a long time, and I think that's the best way to look at it. You can tell everyone's super excited.
We're getting some episodes, so that's all that really matters, honestly.
Made on LinkedIn about the progress of season 7.
LinkedIn,
so nice
bro.
To have something concrete and public. You have my word, when this comes out, I will be covering it. Dare even say I'll probably be the #1 person covering it. But until then, check out my video on the Inquisition. It will go over everything you need to know about how the show temporarily ended to catch up on what might be in season 7.
Gotcha, bro. Smartness. So hopefully the season, it's good, honestly. I mean, I can't see a reason why it would be bad unless they, like, you know how they kind of changed up SpongeBob style to like more randomness and more weirdness, less randomness. Like, I don't know, they just kind of like butchered the whole thing. I hope that they don't make it kind of like that, you know. I mean, you know, it should be, since the same like animation style and the original guy is going to be working on it. I say it's probably gonna be pretty good. Probably gonna be pretty fire. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Make sure you guys like the video. Go and subscribe to Alpha J Show, bro, because he made this, you know what I'm saying, and he did a well breakdown for us, because I would have not been able to do that. But I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.